Um, well, impunity, I mean, technically impunity means that you can do something bad without penalty, that you don't have to worry about paying a price for what you've done. But impunity is more than just that, particularly in conditions of great political violence like we have in Guatemala today. Impunity means that there's an absence of rule of law. Impunity is also an invitation to people to commit acts of violence, because a lot of us are nonviolent or unviolent. You know, the people who are nonviolent believe in absolutely no violence. People who are unviolent are people who believe, well, I'm not a violent person, but I believe in my right to defend myself. Not that many people are actually violent and actually go looking to do something violent, but laws stop a lot of people who might carry out violence because they know that they'll have to pay a price for doing something wrong. If you live in a state of impunity, that's an invitation to violent people to commit violence because they know they won't be brought to justice. But I think the last part of it that's really important is that impunity is the violation of law by those people who are charged with upholding it, whether they're officers of the court or officers of the police, officers of the military, or elected officials in the government. Those are the people who are responsible for upholding rule of law, and impunity exists when those people are the very people who are violating it. 687 women were killed in 2008, more than 700 killed in 2009. What that means is that there are more than 2 women killed every day in Guatemala. That's horrible. And if you look at the front page of the newspaper in Guatemala, it is not uncommon during a week that several newspapers will have a front page that have a full color photo of a woman dead with blue fingernails. They're really awful images of violence against women, and the news at night is full of those images of violence against women, and you see the police picking up the bodies and throwing them in the back of a truck because they don't even use appropriate vehicles for moving the bodies of people who've been killed. And so you have this constant barrage of horrible images of violence against women, and so you create fear. And so what it means in the daily lives of women is, 1, it's not safe to go out. 2, you have to be really careful if you go out. And it also means that patriarchal tendencies are reinforced. And what are patriarchal tendencies? Patriarchal tendencies, the quote-unquote good ones, are the ones that want to protect women in the family. And so what you get is a friend of mine, for example, who I asked, what do you think when your sister goes out at night? And he says, oh, after dark, not even to the store, ni a la tienda sin permiso, not even to the store without permission, we go with her. He's talking about a 22-year-old woman. And he's not saying that because he thinks he's being macho, he's saying that because he thinks he's protecting her. But her social space has been collapsed by the violence that exists there. So it means that women have less options of freedom of movement. And I also think that the killing of women, and this is something I'm looking at historically, it's also used to push back at women who are activists and push back at women who are advocates. When the director of the morgue says, oh, well, these women, what do they expect when they're out taking the positions of men? And that's a misogynist statement. It's a statement that the women are responsible for their own killing, but it also means that there's no respect for women who have political positions. There's no respect for women who've taken on strong advocacy positions for human rights. And if you look at the main human rights organizations in Guatemala, it's almost all women. It's Helen Mack, Mirna Mack's sister, it's Iduvina Hernandez, it's Nineth Montenegro, it's Aura Elena Farfan. I mean, these are the main leaders. Norma Cruz, these are the leaders of the human rights movements in Guatemala. And so when constant violence against women is committed, it's also a way to push them back and delegitimize what they do.